Welcome to News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery.
Welcome to the West Texas View. I'm Johnny Lou Avery, and I am so pleased to introduce to you another person from the University of Texas Permian Basin as we continue a series of programs about the college in its 40th year anniversary celebration year. And today we're talking to Leanna Good, who is the Director of Development and has been one of those who looks at the general welfare and future of the university, as well as looking back at the history. And so I wanted her to give us more of a broad perspective. You've been meeting people that are focused on one slice of the pie of the University of Texas Permian Basin. But she's going to talk more about the history and the general scope. It's such a pleasure to have you, Leanna. It's such a pleasure to talk about the University of Texas Permian Basin because I'm an alumni of that school, and I know what quality education, what a neat thing it is to have small classes, the more intimate settings, and the more personal relationships with the instructors. But you're thinking in terms of the general reputation of the college. You're thinking about from the evolution, where are we going next? We have had a tremendous succession of strong presidents.
Absolutely.
We've had visionaries in the administration that has really shaped the direction, working with the UT system, because that's what we've got to keep in mind, is that we're part of a system
Absolutely.
of campuses. And one of the things a lot of people may not know is that the state of Texas really has kind of set the pattern in education, and there are three systems of colleges in the state of Texas. University of Texas was the first, of course, Texas A&M system, and then the vocational or technology system, Texas State Technical College system. And it has campuses all over the state,
Sure.
and the reason is because of workforce development. But UTPB has been really involved in workforce development too. So I want you to start by telling a little bit about your background and how you came to UTPB.
Oh, well, thank you for the opportunity to do that, because I was thinking as you were talking, I grew up in Odessa, and I remember as a kid riding out to the edge of town, which was JBS Parkway wasn't there.
I know.
It was just open fields, and I thought we were at the end of the world when we go out there. But as I grew, I start to see these buildings come up, the Founders Building, the Mesa Building, and that was exciting. It was exciting to get a real university here in the Permian Basin in West Texas. I went off to college, as so many of us do. I went to Austin and then ended up in the Midwest in St. Louis, Missouri for about 20 years. And during that time, my background is in fundraising, public relations, marketing for the arts and things like that. But I eventually decided to move back and be closer to family and come back to Odessa. And the most thrilling thing was coming back, even though I'd come back for visits, to really look at the university and say, wow, this is a completely different place. The fact that it had grown so much in such a short amount of time,
That's
really.
right.
Is just phenomenal, and that just proves there's a huge need for it here.
Yes.
And especially as the economy here changes, we have a workforce need. It's so much easier to have kids that have grown up in West Texas, appreciate the landscape, appreciate living here, want to stay and work here. So the availability, the access to a great education here is really undeniable. And affordability is a big thing too.
That's right.
We also have lots of students that are first generation college students, many who want to come back and get master's degrees who are living here, and this gives them an opportunity to have a family that's been here forever but not have to move away to get a master's degree. So it's been thrilling. I think the best thing in my position as a fundraiser is that there's so much variety. Whether you talk about alumni giving back or just people who run businesses in the area or just appreciate the fact that their kids can go to school here, they can pick a program they're interested in and get really involved. And now UTPB has become such a part of the cultural fabric of this area through things like the Wagner Noel Performing Arts Center,
yes.
which has really brought just amazing things to this area. And I need to point out, we couldn't have it without major donors. People are giving from all over the region, from all over the place, who really want to see this university grow. And in fact, we surpassed 5,000 in enrollment this past fall for the first time ever, and we don't see an end in sight. You know, the growth is just tremendous. So the opportunity to have student housing, beautiful apartment style housing.
I know.
It's so different than when I was in school, I can tell you that. But
restrooms at the end of the hall.
Right, shared by at least 30 girls, right? Yeah. So now it's very, very different, and the opportunity to study so many different degree programs. Our engineering program, mechanical and petroleum engineering, are just bursting at the seams. We're looking at adding additional engineering programs in the very near future. But music is a big program for us, and because of the Wagner Noel facility, now all of our music programs take place in that beautiful facility. The kids have great space to perform in. We have a wonderful art department. Of course, nursing, our education department. What would we do in our public schools here without teachers coming from UTPB? You know, we already have a bit of a shortage. So, you know, we're trying to increase the number of teachers that we graduate from the university. So just the fact that we're in every aspect of the communities here. Nursing, I know.
My goodness.
So it's very, very exciting place to be.
But one of the things that people don't often stop to think about is when a college gets started in 1973, it's an evolutionary process. And so you don't just spring up full blown. Even if you're part of a system like the University of Texas system, you have to take it according to the student needs of that area. And so you have met it, and that's why you've just opened the new nursing program, because that was a need. But as our society changes, there will be other things, but there's certain things that are always there. There's always a need for teachers. There's always a need for engineers. There's always a need for other specific degree plans that you have, but then you'll add things as needed. But to have an advisory committee, to have a group that gives you direction is just wonderful.
It's critical. We have advisory committees for every college and for different programs, whether art or music. We also have a development board that comes in and really gives us a lot of great advice about how to raise money, what programs we should be offering in the future so that we can start tracking those down. I think the greatest thing about having a university in West Texas is that this is a community of wildcatters and risk takers.
And risk takers. We're going to continue that part of the conversation in just a minute, so join us after the break.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.